Hello, BookTube.
Hi, BookTube.
You'll never guess what this video is. It's a book haul. We went out shopping for books. Again, all day. At the Book Barn in Niantic, Connecticut. Place you didn't really believe me about until you saw it for the first time.
I know, and now we have to go every time. Yeah.
It's incredible. Those of you who've never looked it up or had the pleasure to go there, it's incredible. The main complex is 5 buildings full of books. And there are 2 other outlying buildings, but it's amazing. It really is. And it doesn't break the bank. They're very good about that. So we got a ton of books, a ton of them. I don't even know where to start. I mean,
at the top, I guess.
You're the guest. You should go first.
Okay.
Is that another volume of that?
Yeah,
oh my
this
God.
is. I talked about these yesterday. I found another volume of the History of Private Life. This is the 4th. And I actually have this one already, but I have the paperback, and the paperbacks don't seem to me like they're going to hold up especially well. So I'm going to use this just to replace the one I have. But there are only 5 of these, and I have them all now, so I was happy to see that.
Oh, one of my bags is dying here. Oh no! Oh no! All right. Sorry. Why don't you do another one while I clean up here?
Okay, well then I will do a little Kipling. I found Wee Willie Winkie. This is one I haven't read. At home, I have Kipling in that big hardcover, the Everyman's Library, and I love that. And then otherwise, I think I have the Jungle Books in the Oxford and the Penguin edition. I have them in both, but that's all the Kipling I have, so I was glad to see this.
I can do some science fiction and fantasy. I found a lot of science fiction and fantasy. I found the Timescape paperback of King David's Spaceship by Jerry Pournelle. West of Honor, Mercenary, King David's Spaceship. I like these more than the books I think he would have wanted me to like, and I haven't read this thing since I read this paperback. God only knows when that would be. It's a long time ago. 1980. 1981 was the first Timescape thing. So probably I read it in 82 or 83. So I found this by Angus Wells. This is Forbidden Magic, Volume 1 in a fantasy series that I didn't quite mind. I largely like this.
I didn't quite mind it.
Yeah. I think for $1, I think I got up to the 3rd volume. And for all I know, it's still going. A lot of you have told me now that Piers Anthony is 150 and has written 1,000 Xanth books, so it could be. I found a romance. Got to get a romance. An American Duchess. By a larger romance and an author I don't know, and not set in the Regency period, set in the time a century after the Regency, when land-wealthy but cash-poor nobles in the British aristocracy were finding American heiresses to float their boats, a la Downton Abbey. So let me do one more here. I found this copy of The Once and Future King, which I didn't know this existed. I knew it as a hardcover release, and I knew it as a big trade paperback. Didn't know that this thing was out, and I love this book. So figured what's one more edition.
Well, not to shock you, but I got a couple romance too. I got 2 Georgette Heyer volumes, and then this one, The Spanish Bride. I've read about Georgette Heyer, and I know you're a fan, and me being open-minded and containing multitudes, I thought I would try. I would try a couple because I saw them sitting there. So,
much to his dismay, he's soon going to be containing multitudes of calzones. his healthy, nutritionally balanced body is crying out in agony.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna get off the plane and then go straight to the gym when I get home.
It's so tasty, though.
We were heading back from the Book Barn today. We stopped at a gas station. I went in and I bought an apple because I just needed something nutritious.
And it was like teaching the English language to an elementary student because I was trying to place a name with that thing. What is that? Is that a banana? Is that a camel? I found this. It's a companion volume to Catherine Kurtz's Durini books, which I reread the first 3 books in this series last year and thought they were much better than I remembered. And this was popular to do. Once upon a time, Julian May did this for the Pleiadian Exile books. Came out with a paperback companion to that series. And this will be a lot of odds and ends, a lot of bits and backstory, which was fine by me. I found A. Merritt. Some of you will know this name because this author is part of Roger's Cheap Old Book Club, but not Dwellers in the Mirage. Dwellers in the Mirage is about a strapping Viking who gets transported to a fantasy land. And this is the Book Barn. All the paperbacks are just $1, except for the ones that are in these plastic containers that they consider vintage or something like that. And even those, this was $4, so not much. That's
Okay. Well, let me go through. I still have a little fiction left here.
I might have got more than you.
Yeah, and actually, some of mine I'm going to talk about all at once, too, so it'll make sense for you to do a good batch next. Next, I got The Trees by Percival Everett. I have a friend at the gym who's a huge fan, and he's been pushing me to read his stuff, and I read James, and I liked the writing. Well, I had problems with the book. I liked the writing well enough to where I want to try his other books, and this was there, so I grabbed it.
Does that have a sampler?
Does it have a sampler? Wall Street Journal, so it's not named.
Well, yeah. The rest of them are fascists who twirl their mustaches, so they don't read contemporary fiction.
And then here, this is
one
of those
my.
Avenel editions. This is Louis L'Amour. And this is the second one, which I guess you'd have to have multiple for Louis L'Amour. I didn't see the first. Did you get back to the Westerns in the very, very back of that first
I did
store?
not. But the last time we were there, they had a whole set of the Avenel Louis L'Amour, like 4 or 5 volumes.
Oh, did they really? Yeah, I don't know how many there are, but...
One of the annexes moved.
Mm-hmm.
So the building that you would ordinarily go to, we went there and it
We
was all
pulled up.
boarded
Yeah,
up.
the sign was hanging down, everything.
Every bookworm's worst nightmare, but they went to a nicer, cleaner spot just a block away.
Yeah, with more space, too. And they moved around books in some of the other annexes as well, so they just were doing a big reorganization. And then here, Louis L'Amour again. This is Lonesome Gods.
In hardcover.
In hardcover. I have I love this book. This might be my favorite Louis L'Amour that I've read. And there was 3 of these back there, actually.
I would have got that.
Yeah. So that was...
It was either a case of that I didn't go to a certain area, so I didn't see anything, or also the case of you go to the bookstore with a friend and then they become an enemy.
Yeah.
I had that moment vividly at the Book Barn today when David went into the dollar hut where everything inside, hardcover, paperback, all of it's just, everything's $1. He went in maybe a few seconds before I did. I was still looking at other books, and I heard him go, ooh. And I knew, oh, that's bad. That's a bad sign.
Yeah. And then lastly here in this pile anyway, I got The Day of the Jackal. And this got a lot of comments from like 3 or 4 people at the store. So I think a lot of people like it. And I'm told that there's also a new Apple series doing it. So
I found a box set of T.H. White, so I got Once a Future King again with this weird, I don't know who that woman is in the middle there, but this weird cover artwork. But
I like that, though.
I do too, and I haven't had this box set I don't think I ever had it. I think I sold it in a bookstore. And I also found this.
Can I see that box set?
You Star Trek fans out there are going to have to tell me about this, because I've never seen this before. Star Trek, Bantam, I think it was Bantam or Pocket, did a whole bunch of bigger Star Trek novels. They weren't the usual 190 pages. They were larger. They took on larger subjects. A lot of them are really good. Strangers from the Sky is one of those. And so is a novel called Enterprise, which is supposed to tell the first adventure of Jim Kirk on board the Enterprise. The minute I mention that, all of you are going to though you Star Trek fans are going to picture Enterprise. You're going to picture what it looks like, including the original mass market paperback, where you have the word Enterprise, and then you open the gatefold, and it's Kirk and Spock. And I found a copy of Enterprise that is, first of all, that was not the artwork in either the paperback or the hardcover that I'm familiar with, and it continues, the crew continues on the back. What on earth? I've never seen this before. I have no idea what this is. Do any of you know? Is this a Star Trek club thing or something like that? I have no idea. And I found a hardcover of The Dark Between the Stars, Frank Robinson, who's I don't think read or printed anymore, but a couple of his books I really like. One of his books is really dumb. It's I like it anyway. It's pure cheese. I think it's called Waiting, and it's about another branch of humanity that is trying to bump off Homo sapiens. This is about a generation ship in space. It's a classic science fiction novel that I really like, and I've had the paperback many times, but I'll take a hardcover anyway. For a science fiction novel I know I go back to, gladly.
Do a couple more.
Okay. I found a Joseph Lincoln novel. This was probably a little more expensive than normal because the Book Barn is odd. Sometimes they just take it into their head to call something vintage or antique and sell it for a little bit more. They're still not selling it for much. But I found this, the Peel Trait. This is an old Cape Cod novel. I've talked about Joseph Lincoln on my channel before. He wrote old Cape Cod novels. I love them. I'm probably the only person left in the world who does. I'm certainly the only person who's ever going to walk into the Book Barn in Niantic, Connecticut in 2025 and be able to tell you the plot of this book. The only person who would have picked this up who's already read it. But now I have this pretty wartime. It's as light as a feather. Is it wartime? Oh no, 1934. So, oh no, 44. There we go. So it's light as a feather. It's ration pulp paper. But I love him. I think he's great. So I get his novels whenever I can.
Okay, then all these three go together. I got Gibbon.
Oh.
So this is Decline and Fall.
With Piranesi etchings.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they have the illustrations in it. Let me see if I can find a good example. Oh, there was one. And I have only read the abridged
man.
Gibbon. I think that Penguin does.
Oh.
And I was eyeing this. I saw a set at Majors and Quinn in Minneapolis, but it wasn't these volumes. And I thought about it, and I just decided I don't want to pull the trigger on the money. But these together were $21 or $23. They weren't bad at all, and so I did grab them. Yeah, $21 for all three, so I was happy to do that. So
See, I would never have grabbed a big, heavy, multi-volume set like that because I got to mail these things back. Oh, wait. That's you. You have to do that.
yeah, I forget myself when...
It's not
When you're
hard
at the
to
Book
forget
Barn,
yourself
yeah.
at the Book Barn. It really isn't. I found another example. The last time, or was it the time before that you came over, we went to the Used Book Superstore. There's a canvas tub right as you walk in the door of the Used Book Superstore with unsorted stuff. And on the top of it were 4 Horatio Hornblower novels in exactly the paperback set that I love. And they were all done that way. And I found one of those today. Hornblower During the Crisis. This is the thing I like about them is that they have no fuss. You get the whole illustration. So I grabbed it. I looked for others, but this is the only one I saw. I found a Sally Carrigar book. I thought I knew them all, and I love them. I reread them all the time. She's a great nature writer. Really evocative. One Day at Beetle Rock, I think, or is one of her favorite ones. But this is called The Twilight Seas, about a blue whale. And all of her books have illustrations. I will never see this again, I'm sure. There is well, that's somebody breaching. I doubt it's a blue whale. But I've never read this. What an absolute treat to find a Sally Carrigar that I haven't read. Wonderful. So that was a find. I had a few finds. Should I keep going or no?
No, go ahead. This is Alan Eckert. Yeah, Wilderness Empire. And I know enough about the author to, try this. This is about, I think, you'll know better than I do.
I have that
British,
exact copy.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah.
The British and the French, and their, let's say, relationship with the Iroquois, I believe.
If I remember correctly, that is insanely expensive online.
Oh, really? Well, I'd pay $4.
$4 probably.
Yeah, $4, yeah. So...
I found the Book of the Month Club edition of the Coffin for King Charles by Wedgwood. This is the concluding capstone volume. She did the King's Peace, then the King's War, and then this is all about the trial and execution of King Charles I. It's really good. I grabbed it because it was in the Dollar Hut, so it was just $1. I would have grabbed this anywhere for $1. I always get rid of mine. I always send them out to somebody. And I looked for the other 2 volumes. I would love the other 2 volumes, but no, they weren't there.
Okay, these two all do together. So
Oh,
this is the
wow.
same
Oh,
author.
my God.
Yeah, this is None Died in Vain, Robert Leckie. And it has a receipt in it from the Gettysburg Military and Antique Store. And then I also got his from Sea to Shining Sea. And the only Lecky I've read is his single volume history of World War II, which is fantastic. And so I'm assuming that these will be just as good.
This is David's groping continued attempt to be a Civil
War
War
guy. Yeah.
Rather than just World War II. when he got downstairs to the World War II section, all the books said, "Oh, where have you been?" Missed you so.
Romance, Civil War. I'm expanding.
I got E.L. Doctorow's last good book, Billy Bathgate. Some of you might know the movie. I doubt it, but you might. This is all about Dutch Schultz. I read it when it came out in this paperback. 1989, 1990, yeah, 1990. And to me, the standout thing in this book was neither the gangster nor Billy Bathgate. It was there's one particular guy, one member of Dutch Schultz's organization, who's really good with numbers. He's the guy who does the mental toting of the percentages and whatnot, and he stood out for me. He seemed more real than the other characters. And I found 2 volumes of R.A. McAvoy's trilogy. I don't know if it has a name. Maybe it's the Damiano trilogy. Damiano is the first one, and then Damiano's Loot, and then Raphael. I didn't find the second book. These are wonderful. This is historical fantasy of a type you usually don't see. It's historical fantasy of a type that owes literally nothing to Tolkien, which is incredibly rare. And it's wonderful. And not just because it contains a talking dog.
Is that even possible to not owe anything to Tolkien?
It is. It's very rare, but it can be done. And I do another one I found, Here I Stand, Roland Bain's great biography of the pig, Martin Luther. I would get this as a hardcover if I saw it, but this...
That is good. I've seen it around, and I've never
really
grabbed
good.
it. Okay.
Yeah, it really is. This is the paper. I think most people who read this book 70 years ago, read it when it came out in this Mentor paperback. I'm pretty sure that most people missed the hardcover. I did, and read it in this format. So for the parts of it about Erasmus, I'll gladly take it. Then I found 2 more Colleen McCulloughs. I found this perfect condition copy of The Grass Crown, which is the second book, after First Man in Rome. And then Caesar's Women. This is not perfect. In that dollar building, it's open on both sides to the weather. It's got a roof, but you've got cobwebs, you've got wind blowing in there, and rain probably seeping in there, and the books are in wildly different conditions. They're all $1. So I found both of these. I have, I think, another copy of The Grass Crown, but like I said, having Startide Rising break apart on me spooked me, even though books break apart on me all the time. Should I keep going?
I'll go, but these all
my
go
God.
together. These, not this.
That bit about becoming a Civil War guy, you can forget that.
I'm compensated for having no World War II books yesterday. And this is when I went to the dollar area. This was my ooh. So these are mostly all... Who did these? I can't...
This was a uniform library. I think at one point Mark Richardson
Playboy
probably
Press,
had all of these. I had all of them at one point. They're great.
Yes, they are fantastic. I've only read a few of these, but I have none of them right now. So I have U-Boats Offshore. I haven't read this one. So this
Edwin Hoyt, he did
Oh.
The Great History of Leyte Gulf, right?
Actually...
Oh, there it is. Yes, okay.
There's this volume on Leyte Gulf. Oh, so yes, he did. Although I don't know if the subject justifies this many pages. So those will be good. And then Kasserine Pass, Rommel's famous last attack in North Africa. And then this is Point of No Return. This is an epic saga of disaster and triumph. It doesn't really say much more. I think this is just about the building of the B-29 and perfecting it.
And all the Civil War soldiers are saying, "But sir, excuse me, sir," because they thought you were turning to them.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where the Civil War reenactors and the World War II reenactors clash. Which one is this? This is The Devil's Virtuosos. I think this is just about... Oh, it looks like it's about Rommel, but we'll see. This is David Downing. I'm not familiar with him, actually. And then this is Siegfried. This is on the Siegfried line, which was... opposite the Maginot Line, if you think about it that way.
Oh,
And then
man.
this is Panzer Army by James Lucas. This is North Africa.
But something like that. I
Sea
mean,
Desert Fox.
it's great to have all these things, but that thing, Panzer Army, is not going to tell you anything you don't know.
No,
Right.
no. I have a feeling that I'll work through these and probably keep 3, but we'll see. This one is this is on the Coral Sea. This should be a good.
This
one.
was a great library. I don't know
Yeah.
what it's called. Probably, though, you could get the whole thing on eBay for $1 million.
Bloody Buna. This is sort of a underrated, not underrated, but underread about battle, I think, in the Pacific, definitely. And then these are different. These are Bantam War books, and then this last one
Oh,
is
man.
something else. This is a classic. This is Enemy at the Gates. I
Look
have the
at that.
hardcover of this, and I didn't know there was a mass market paperback.
I
If you're
had the-
interested on the Russian front, this is a classic volume to have.
There was a trade paperback, right, with an orange spine. I had it for.
There's also several printings of hardcover too. This is a history of the Luftwaffe, so this goes back to World War I. It's not just World War II. And then finally, this is The Foxes of the Desert, and this is an eyewitness account of the campaign in North Africa. So,
Okay, well, I think this might be one of those, right? One of those. This might be from the same person. These Bantam War books, right? This is Away All Boats, which I've read.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't read
That's
most
a
of
great
those,
book.
but I've read this. I loved it. And I found a World War II book, The Trial of the Germans, about Nuremberg, which I don't think I've ever read this. If
I
I
don't
did,
think
it
I've
had
read
a
one
different
either.
cover. And you know what my rationale was? If it doesn't teach me anything new, if it's obviously not in good condition, then it's just $1. So it's not that big a deal. I found another one of these Pelican histories of England that come in time periods. These again, well, a lot like with those pointillist military studies. They're probably not going to tell you anything you don't know, but you might like the way the author does it.
right.
It might be an insight even. It won't be a new fact, but it might be a new way of looking at something, and that's going to be true here. I've read this volume many times, but I used to have this whole set, and I don't anymore. Right, this crappy mass market paperback of the literary reviews of Henry James. It was $1, and so I grabbed it. I know already that these paperbacks don't hold up, but I only have a Library of America volume of this, and I got it at the Brattle, used, and it's one of those Library of Americas that went to subscribers, so it doesn't have the black dust jacket. Instead, it's wedged into a box, and I can't get that thing out of the box. I would have to destroy it. And I found this, United States by Gore Vidal, because my hardcover copy is a little bit worse for wear. I will. This is in perfect condition. It's not written in, so I will make the effort to transfer everything from that other volume to this one. Oh, you're all done.
I'm all done,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'll just keep going. I found this thing. Oh my God. Will and Ariel Durant did a history of civilization. This is their big book on the Reformation. I had no idea that there was ever a printing of this series that looked like this.
I have never seen that either. Yeah.
It jumped right out at me. Of course, Henry VIII is on the cover because, you think of the Reformation, you think of burning monks and all that, but it was England. It was Henry breaking with the church that goosed reform. This thing, I think, was $1. I'm pretty sure this was in the dollar tent. By D.W. Davies, Elizabethans Errant. Just about a family. I imagine it'll be a pointillist study. I don't think I've ever read this, though. So I figured for basically no money, why not? Is it Penguin? Yes, the Book of Disquiet by Pessoa. I just recently found Richard Zenith's biography of Pessoa, which I got the galley copy from the publisher. I got the finished copy from the publisher. I wrote about it, and then I got rid of it, and I didn't know why I missed it. And then I just recently found it, and I thought, it's great that you found that book, but you don't have his masterpiece in Penguin, and you should. So now I do. Am I getting to the end here? Oh, God. I found this
I've been
thing.
wondering that about this trip.
Where's it going to end? It's Elizabeth and Essex by Lytton Strachey. I have the mass market paperback of this, but I love the book. It's incredibly well written, and I love the time period, the Essex and Essex Rebellion. So when I saw a hardcover, it would never occur to me to go and get this in a hardcover. But I love the book, and the mass market paperback. I can't put any clippings in it. I can't annotate it. The mass market paperback of Elizabeth and Essex is famous on my channel because I did a little video called How to Remove Mold from a Book. And it was my example.
Is that one of your most viewed videos?
I don't.
Too?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Not happily. People view it, but they're not happy about it. That's right. We're gonna leave those aside because that might be a spoiler. Which leaves me. Okay, one more. Which is just like United States, only without a good title. It was proposed to this author that he give this book a good title, and he said it's trash. It's trash writing. Because all hoity-toity authors look back on their time reviewing books as trash. It was trash. But these are wonderful. And I have a copy, but it's again, a little worse for wear. So this and United States will be replacing copies on the shelf. But this is incredible. You might not, I don't know how much Waz read. You might not think of him as funny. But oh my God, when he has a book pinned to the floor and he doesn't like it and he doesn't have to like it, he's hilarious. I go back to this book all the time too, but now I have a volume that I can pamper and take care of and whatnot. And there you go.
Another successful trip to the
Another
book barn.
successful trip to the book barn. The Bean came along. She was the belle of the ball. Everybody liked her. The first place that we went to, just our angle of approach to Niantic, Connecticut, brought us to one of the annexes before we went to the main store, and she was all keyed up. So she did a lot of screaming. She screamed at a lot of people. But after that, she was a little tireder and a little more accustomed to where she was. So when we got to the main store, there wasn't all that much screaming. It was mainly just greeting people, which was nice. She was a hit. And then we came back here.
Yeah. The only thing that was itching me is I left one book behind. It was a novel of Eleanor of Aquitaine, and I read Duchess of Aquitaine earlier this year, and I really liked it. I kind of wish I would have grabbed that. But otherwise, I think I grabbed...
What's this novel?
I don't remember, because I didn't know it.
It's probably the Book of Eleanor. Black thing with
Black,
her.
yeah.
It's probably the Book of Eleanor. There really is only one, and it's not good.
It's not okay to good, then I don't feel bad anymore.
And I remembered only just a minute ago, one of the things, on the way up, I was thinking, this isn't the Brattle. I can actually make plans to look for things. And one of the things I want to look for is Mr. Scarborough's Family by Trollope. And I totally forgot when I was there. I even asked you. Where we're in the fiction section. I said, what am I looking for?
I checked, they didn't have it.
But on the way back, you said there was virtually no Trollope, so I didn't worry about it. I have a copy of Mr. Scarborough's Family. I have an e-copy. I have a print copy. I just like another one for the read aloud. But anyway, there you go. Dozens and dozens more books.
Are we done? I don't know.
There is a used bookstore that we haven't hit yet. Some of you will be familiar with it from watching this channel. It's entirely likely that it's on the agenda. Before a crushing winter sleet storm, just like the one that I issued you into Boston. But tomorrow, maybe more books.
I think for now we're going to go make a salad, right?
Maybe the place next door sells fried salads. That would be good.
If anybody does.
If anybody does.
They totally would, yeah.
But anyway, we're going to wrap this up. We'll be back.
Thanks, BookTube.